the guy that I sold the business to calls me up and goes, "I'm going to own you. I'm going to be," I don't know what he was going to do to me. I mean, he was the one that owed me the money. And don't hold a grudge. Folks, I am telling you, in all my years, I stopped holding grudges about 37 years ago. The reason being this. So when you hold a grudge, who suffers? You suffer. The person that is holding the grudge is the one who has the anxiety, has the hatred, the poison going through your body, just like at the thought of the person against whom you're holding a grudge. And that person, they don't care. They're not thinking anything. They're not walking around thinking about how angry you are at them. They're not walking around feeling bad about whatever it is that caused you to hold a grudge. Here's my first example. This is when I had an epiphany. I was about 33 years old, 32 or 33 years old. I had started a business in my 20s, and I wanted to get out of the business. And it was a pretty successful business at that time for someone that young. And I sold it to some people that I knew. And the deal was this. They were to pay me $125,000 for the business. This was back in 1988. And the way we did it, I didn't even know to get a down payment. Anyway, so I said, you can pay me $5,000 a month not even with interest, until the money's paid off. So for the first several months, they paid every month on time $5,000. And then one month they were like a week late. Then the next month, a couple of weeks late. Then finally they stopped paying. And, I talked to them, nothing was going to get them to pay me. So I hired a lawyer, and he sent them letters and threatened to sue them. And the guy that I sold the business to calls me up and goes, "I'm going to own you. I'm going to be," I don't know what he was going to do to me. I mean, he was the one that owed me the money. Anyway, so one morning, and it was eating me up alive, because I'd started this business from nothing. And I built it up to where I could, in 1988, sell it for $125,000. I don't know how much that is in today's dollars, but to me at that time, it was a fortune. And I thought, then one morning I woke up, was laying in bed, and I thought to myself, the only person that is suffering here is you, meaning me. I called up the guy that I sold the business to. It was a husband and wife, actually, but I called up the husband, and I said, "You know what? Fine. You don't have to pay me. I'm going to call off my lawyer. That's the end of it." And even though, when you think about it on principle, I should have gone after them and I should have really fought to get the money. What was the cost? The cost was going to be my health, my sanity, my time, opportunity cost, things that I could be doing instead of that. No guarantee that I was going to win. And if I did win, no guarantee that we'd be able to collect. And meanwhile, I'm walking around with this pit in my stomach all the time. So now it was so freeing, just telling him, "Fine, just forget it. You live with you live with it." I didn't say that in my head. I was thinking that. And that was it. And then years later, and that was the last time I spoke with them. And I told myself to forget about it. And I did. And I moved on, did other things. Years later, for some weird circumstance, we ended up having to get together for dinner. And I hate to put it, I'm going to probably sound like a complete idiot or fool. I completely enjoyed their company. I remembered how much I enjoyed them when we were young, and now I enjoyed them when I was older. And they ended up going out of business anyway, because they didn't know how to run it properly, which is probably why they weren't paying me the money anymore. Anyway, so that's a lesson I learned. I've learned so many lessons in 70 years, and I try to live by most of them. The biggest one, when people ask me, because I've been asked, What wisdom do you have at 70? I don't know. What wisdom? I don't feel like I'm 70, even though I know I am. Anyhow, so what do you guys think? So do you hold grudges? Do you have, like just unresolved issues with people that if you could resolve them, or if you could let it go, that would make your life easier, that would take some strain off of you, um, or like some people, including myself, I am sure at that point many years ago, I could blame them for whatever I was going through at the time. I didn't, and I didn't want to do that either. I've never been a big person for blaming, um, which brings me to another thing that I've learned, and I'm wondering about you guys as well, if you have experienced this. I was going through a kind of rough time in a relationship that I'd been in for, like, at that point maybe 15 or 16 years. Ended at the 18-year mark. Anyway, I was going through a rough time, and I would walk through this one area where near my office, and it was a very busy area, a lot of people walking, because it was a big office building, but there was also a mall attached to the office building. And I'd look at people walking, and I'd think to myself, geez, what's wrong with you? What are you pissed off about? And I'm looking at these people, and one day, I didn't do this for very long. One morning, I had the thought, I looked at some guy. I remember walking by, and I'm thinking, screw you. Why do you have that look on your face? And then suddenly it dawned on me. It wasn't him. It was me. I was the one that was angry. I was the one that was walking around pissed off. So I was projecting my feelings onto every person that's walking by. How could every single person walking by me be angry? I mean, obviously they weren't. It was me. So that's another lesson I learned. What about you guys? Do you feel like you've got stuff going on in your life, and that is maybe negative, and you look out at other people, and you think that they're the problem, people that you don't even know, these anonymous people out there, you can look at them and you can just sort of sum up who they are, but really what you're doing is you're looking at them through the filter in your eyes and in your mind. So I don't know the answer to that, other than looking, and I say this for me, not just for you, looking in the mirror when we're having certain emotions about other people and other people's actions, and the life that they're living, and why is what someone else doing bothering us? Do you ever go through that, where you're seeing somebody, a couple? Okay, so you're walking down the street, and you see, I'm going to go really crazy on this one, a young man with an older woman, but you know that it's like a romantic relationship. And what do you think when you see that? Well, tell me. Oh, you can't, because I'm talking to you. Anyhow, no, I'm just kidding. I think that most people look and judge, and they say, oh my God, he must be using her for her money. It may be that they just are compatible, that they love each other, that they like each other, that they have a good time with each other. And what are we doing? That's the other lesson. Don't judge. I used to judge people, and I did that, I think, most of my life, up until maybe about I don't know, actually maybe about 15 years ago, maybe even before that. I slowed that down and came to a stop. So like, okay, here in Los Angeles, people are very looks oriented. They're car oriented. This is a car city. There's a lot of glamorous people, but there are many more people that are not glamorous. including me. And you see people of all shapes and sizes, and you hear comments about people in all shapes and sizes. And I always think to myself, like when I go to the gym, I see a lot, and especially at my age, most people are younger than me. And I'll go there and I will see, I'm thinking in particular, a lady, maybe my age, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older, or a man, same thing, that, as we get older, our bodies aren't the same as they were when we were 20 or 30. And they're there and they're doing it. They're working out and they're doing the best they can for themselves. And I know that that a younger person might look at them and think, what's this old person doing this? Why are they even bothering? What's the point? And as I've gotten older, I've learned that there is a point, because as you get older, you still see out from the same eyes. You're still the same person that you were when you were younger. I mean, you may have evolved in terms of your perspectives on life and, of course, experiences and all of that, but you're still basically the same human being. So, so this person that's out there, 70 years old or 60 or 80 or whatever, whose skin may be a little loose, who may have extra padding around every part of their body, they're still that person that they were when they were 25 or 15 or 30 or 40 or whatever. And they deserve to be honored for who they are at this point and who they have been. I don't know if any of this makes any sense. I don't know if any, but those are some of the things that I have learned in life. Don't hold a grudge. Don't judge. Oh my God, I remember one time I was so judgmental. I was with this friend of mine. His name was Christopher. And we were at this restaurant in West Hollywood that had it was called, at that time, it was called the French Marketplace. Anyway, there was like a platform. You could sit down in the bottom of the restaurant, and there were stores that surrounded where you would eat, the eating area, but you could also sit up on a platform where there, just more tables. And we were looking down, and I said, and there were all these people there, and I said, what an incredible place to judge people from. And he agreed, because we were both young and thought we were hot shit. And then I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, each one of those people down there that I don't know how I had this kind of epiphany. Each one of those people has a life. They may have problems. They may have great things going on in their life, but there's a whole human being behind each one of those bodies that is walking around. It's got a whole history, that has family behind them, that has friends behind them. That have had great things happen, that have had tragedies happen. And I have the nerve to sit up here and comment on whatever I was commenting on them. That's what I have to say for today. Don't judge, don't hold grudges, and remember that every person has a huge history, and we don't know what has brought them to today and what they are dealing with. So bottom line, it's free to be kind and nice to people. And that's it. That's my speech for today.